Hi there everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Y. This is Mike, and today we have got 30 minutes of gentle yoga. So I've got something fun and different planned today. We've got a moon salutation. So normally we might do a version of a sun salutation that's kind of rising energy. A moon salutation has, about the same number of steps, but it's really designed on cooling and grounding, stuff like that. Please, if you've got your props handy today too, I want to use a strap today because I want to do a nice variety of lying back twists. And I always like to kind of be ready with mine with a little bit of a loop like so, just so that a preview of what we'll be doing is we'll be using it to loop around one leg and then use the hand to, go to one side, hand it off to the other side. Now, this is where also stuff like this comes in handy, where you want to let it down, and help it rest there can be another good way to go. All right, so get your props ready, and then lie back. We're going to start lying back. So just go ahead and situate yourself into the space of your mat and come inwards. While you are lying down, notice the rise and fall of your belly. And go ahead and establish a nice even rhythm of breathing. So maybe increasing your breath a little bit to about 60% of your total breathing capacity, and so that the inhales match the quality of the exhales. And just kind of watching but consciously shaping this breath. And this is the breath I want you to train yourself to use through your entire yoga practice. So the whole thing is about mindfulness. And so our breath is as well. And when we are able to smooth our breath out mindfully, then we are smoothing out our mind too. Quality of our thoughts sure will over time become second nature. So put some intention behind that nice smooth breath. Good, and we're just going to start here with a few lying poses as well. Let's hug our knees in. Give them a good hug and see if we can get some of the cobwebs out of that low back. Maybe you like to give yourself, there's various things. Yogi's choice. You can do circles. You could take the knees and go kind of in opposite circles like so. And whichever circle you choose, make sure that you go do a few and then you reverse direction. And when we first lay down or sit in our practice, we have this tendency, a lot of us, to just kind of go fast out of the gate. But again, it's about bringing yourself back to mindfulness and maybe moving with the breath. All right. Good, and then I have a lovely little flow here. Put your feet down kind of close to your hips. It's a bridge flow. So when you inhale, I want you to bring your hips up and your arms come up overhead. Now when you exhale, draw your belly button in so that your tailbone is the last thing down, and at the end of that exhale, hug in like we just were. Now inhale, feet up and arms overhead. Extend those legs as long as you can. And then exhale, we come back to start. Put the feet down and hands side. And we do it again. Inhale, lift into a bridge. Use your shoulders as good, heavy support. Exhale, as the arms come back and the hips come down, then we hug at the end of that exhale. And then inhale, hands up, feet up. And exhale, back to home base. Feet down, hands to the side. Let's do that one more time, and you can be with your own flow of breath. Inhale. Remember, you don't have to be with me. A lot of times when I'm talking like this, I'm doing my best to remember what honest breath movement looks like. And then at the end of that, but I might not be. So you go by your breath. Good. And let's bring those feet down. As a little bit of a warm-up for what's later, let's go ahead and dig your elbows into your sides. Maybe just keep your hands up. Bring your knees up if you want, otherwise you can keep the feet close to the floor. Inhale, and then exhale, drop your knees to the left. So windshield wipers, whatever you're feeling. Inhale, come on up side. Exhale, go over to the other side. So every inhale, go ahead and come back through the center using a little core strength. Every exhale, drop it on over. If you're feeling like you've got the capacity, those legs could be in the air. Inhale, exhale, come to the other side, and you could drop it part way or all the way to the floor. Right, inhale, Exhale, side. Good. Inhale. And when you've gone over to the right side next, let that be your last. That'll be nice even rounds, okay? And then inhale, come on up. This time, hug your knees to your chest and bring your chin in with it. Now, if this feels okay for your back, I want you to round the back up, draw your navel in, and start giving me a little rock. And do it a few times. Come on up. Use your core to sort of hover there, all right? And come on back. Maybe you even touch the left corner of the mat. Roll back. Touch the right corner of the mat as you come on up. Nice. Keep your ball. Try not to fling. You see, I'm not flinging my feet. It's core. It's momentum. Good. And then on your last one, stay up, round the back, and then we're going to come to all fours, however you want to get there. All fours, where we'll have a nice warm up here, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your collars, lift your chin. Exhale, as you start to draw your navel in and your chin, and you're going to start sitting back and bring your hips towards your heels. Surrender your forehead and your forearms. Inhale, come on up. So you're actually flexing the whole body here, looking on up, chin up. Exhale, draw the chin in, navel in. Pelvis tilts as you sit back, nice and slow. Honest breath. Inhale, so now we're applying that smooth, even rounds of inhale and exhale with motion. Another great way to train the mind. Do one more. Just be really, really luxurious about it. Exhale, chin in, navel in. And then pause in child's pose for 1 or 2 breaths. All right, and just kind of use this. I like this pose as a reminder to surrender. Let go of anything you don't need into the earth and let it leave you a little bit freer. Okay, let's come back on up to a tabletop, and we'll just do some spinal balances. Take your right leg, extend the heel back, and take your left arm out in front. So you can keep these on the floor if you want. Otherwise, you can raise one or both on up. And for a few rounds, draw this into the body. It's sort of elbow to knee, and then back on out. Okay, if this is stressful for your wrist, you could also, maybe be on the fist here. Inhale, plant it under the shoulder. Exhale, draw it in, bring the navel in. So we're still doing some of those things. Inhale, reach with the heart and the chin. Exhale in last time. So this could be along the floor like so. And then let that be your last one. Return to tabletop. Make sure that you're feeling centered before you start the other side. Left heel, reach back. Stabilize your hips and your abdominals, and then the right hand up if you want them. Go long. Exhale, draw it in. Good. And go with your breath. So again, I could stay, pretty close to the floor here if I have low back issues and I'm just kind of testing it. I could not do the leg, or I could not do the arm if that's just too much for the midsection of the body to hold into balance. Okay, or I could just, tuck under like so with the leg. Feel it out, experiment. There's kind of no wrong answer. Now the next time you inhale, that'll be your last. And then put that hand and knee down. We're going to come to a forward fold. So if you want to walk yourself back, start tucking your toes. And I like to use my hands to sort of kind of come up. Use your knee bend. Use your knee bend. Let yourself get there part way to forward fold. You've always got a block handy if you're a person who needs it, who uses it. All right. Now, take your hands and put them at your shins and give me a nice halfway lift. So start with that support of the hands on the shins. It takes the weight takes some of the work off of the back. All right. So that you can extend nice and long. You can tip a tad bit forward. Keep your navel drawn in and up to support that low back. And then those legs get nice and long too. Good. Nice activation through the entire back side of the body here. Making it stronger. It's the kind of part of us that collapses a lot when we sit all day. And then just kind of bend your knees a little bit, go back into forward fold, maybe hold your elbows for a moment and just let yourself dangle there. You can have your knees bent as much as you like. If you wanted to use that block or something, go ahead. But find your ease wherever you're at. Okay. Hands come. Bend your knees. Hands at your hips. Lead with your heart. Inhale, come on up. And then exhale, find your mountain pose. Let everything equalize there. So when we're upside down and we come up, everything may need a moment to adjust. All right, so here's where we're going to do some of that fun stuff today. Real athletic there today, wasn't I? Start by inhaling on up. Put together a couple things. Exhale, come on over to the side. Now inhale, come on up. And exhale over to the other side. We're going to start these moon salutations. Inhale, come on up, and let's do this a little bit more mindfully. Exhale, lower your right arm down. Now as you inhale, press your fingertips away from one another, so I'm making my body nice and long like so. Now glue your right arm to your side so that you can actually assist and get a little bit more open without, again, straining in the back. If your back feels fine and you want to really reach into it, you can take your right hand and grasp the left wrist, pull it over to the side. Good, let's inhale, come on up. Left arm comes down and right arm comes on up. Inhale, those hands, those fingertips go way, way far away from one another. Glue this left arm to your side and come over the top. Do you feel how that can help you? Now that doesn't mean I'm not active in my center, right? I still want to lift and lean to the side, open those ribs. All right, so this moon salutation, we're going to move through it nice and slow. Give all the option. Inhale right here, and then exhale, we're going to go ahead and step on out wide. So in our wide stance, make sure that the knees are coming out towards toes, and this is goddess. So arms, palm space front, kind of like your goalpost arms. And then you are sitting as deeply as feels good for you. When we start to come into this squat, though, sometimes we end up here or big arch. We want to try and draw those ribs in, draw your navel in and up, and stay balanced front to back. Does that make sense? Feel it out. Experiment. This is your time with your body. Self-study in all the good ways, okay? And you can keep as bent as you like, as much heat or as little. Now, we're going to do star. So straighten your legs and reach out. So here you should be able to feel pressing into those feet to send energy up, then out through the arms. Nice, but really grounded. So the energy's coming up, but we feel really, really extra grounded here. Nice. All right, next we're gonna do a triangle. So go ahead, hands to hips, and turn your right toes in a little bit, and turn your left toes off the end of the mat, if you're like I am. Okay, and then we're gonna level our arms out. We're gonna do a triangle. So for some of us, we might like to have the block. Inhale, reach the left arm forward as the left hip comes back, and then we come to rest either hand on shin or hand on block, okay? You can keep your right arm either at your side like so. This is kind of nice. It reminds me to open up into the space. Again, hand 1, 2, or up here. Your eye gaze is part of your pose usually, and it could go up too, but if that, bothers your neck, just keep it looking side, but sometimes we have this tendency to sag like so. So remind your top ear to come towards your shoulder. Chances are that's going to put it right back in alignment. And what if you needed less of this? You could be up. I could be up even higher, like so. All right. We're going to move this to pyramid. Keep the block there. Inhale, come on up. And on pyramid, you got to move your legs. So change your feet so that you face straight towards that end of the mat. Light version of pyramid. Give yourself a micro knee bend. Inhale forward. And then lightest version here, I can support myself as I lean directly forward. More, I'm going to bring that block back. and then extend my back long. And as soon as I drop onto that block, I want my left hip to come back, and I want my right hip to come forward if I can drop into this. If you're bendy and you like to really go into a nose to knee, be my guest. You can feel a lot of stuff here. This is intense side stretch, so you want to feel that on the left side of the body. Okay, so I'm working through a lot of different poses here, hopefully finding the ones that are right for you. We're going to be on our knees a couple times, so if you need extra padding, go ahead and do that. So we're going to move towards that. Start to bend your front leg, and we're going to come down into a kneeling lunge. If you can, back foot back and put your knee down, and then come into your kneeling lunge right here. Now just try to keep your back nice and long and extended while you keep your front knee over your front foot, and your back knee is back as far as feels comfortable, opening up in the front side of that right hip, yeah? Good. So this is kind of a mirrored flow. We're not exactly flowing it because I'm showing you all the pieces, but we go back the way we came. So we just have a couple more things to do before we can do that. Now, tuck your back toes, and maybe you're going to take your block with you, and you're going to start pivoting towards the side. So maybe I'm going to turn my left toes in a little bit, come up on that knee, and come into a side lunge. Now, some of us might like to do a side lunge right here, or rest down. So I'm bending my left leg and my right leg is long, or my trusty block right here, and find your way into the version that works for you. If you need to, give it a left leg a little straighten and then go back into it. So it's any kind of side lunge that's doable for you. What else could you do? You could totally be doing a side lunge that looks like that. Stand up, bend, a little bit of effort, right? All those options, here's some simple math for you. All those options equals 0 excuses. Okay. Come center, come center. Now prop your elbows in and give me a nice knees wide. What else could I do? If I was up here, I could start to do similar, but kind of encouraging inner thigh stretch. Otherwise, right here, pretty basic. A more energetic version of this goes into the Malasana or the low prayer squat, but we won't do that today. Okay, let's go ahead, come on up, maybe take my block with me, and now I'm in the lunge on the other side. Now we've reached the mirror. Now we're coming back the way we came. My left leg is long. Here's my upper version. Left leg is long. Right leg is bent. A little support, lower support, low, whatever you want to do. So even though we're grounded and we're cooling, it doesn't mean we're not feeling a little bit of activation in the legs. Woot! It is a salute. Now, we're going to work our way back towards that kneeling lunge for the right. So pivot before you do anything on the balls of the feet and the heels, and put your left knee back down. And then once again, if I need my support, I'm there. Otherwise, maybe tenting fingers or fingertips. Being really long through the spine. Lengthen the front side of the body. Front knee is over your foot. Back knee back. Nice. Oh, we'll only have time to get through one round of this today. Maybe I'll bring it back next week as a flow, and you can kind of tell once you get the mastery. When it flows, it's one breath, one movement. Okay, we're gonna work back to standing. We're gonna come back the way we came. So tuck your toes if you can. Come on in. And hands to thigh, maybe come on up. And we're gonna do that pyramid. So the pyramid was hinging straight forward. This is my halfway point. Or I should say that's maybe my 1/3 point. My halfway point is probably with my my block. My 2/3 point would be with that surrender. And the whole time here, I'm encouraging my right hip to go back and my left hip to come forward. Bringing yourself back to breath. Anytime that you find yourself feeling challenged, bring it back to that nice yogic, even breath. Hallmark of a yoga practice, using that in conjunction with our our mental state and our focus. Okay, bend your front leg, help yourself if you need to, come on up and open, and we're gonna do our triangle. We're gonna get towards the end here, all right? As you reach your right hand forward, right hip comes back, right hand, right hip. Keep going. Find high, shin, block, on up. So this being gentle yoga, I just always want to make sure that I'm covering a lot of bases here because I know I can't see you. Right? And if you have questions, please send feedback. Roll down on the page, and that feedback comes straight to me if you have a real question. But always going to try to show you a lot of different versions because I know there's all bodies out there. Right? Good. What else? We had that arm to the side too. Oh my gosh. We're just about there. Let's go ahead. Come back to the side. Come on up. One more time. Make your star. Press down to widen. And then let's sink. Bend into goddess for a moment. Take a nice breath there. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin. Exhale, draw it in. Then inhale, straighten. Bring your feet in a little bit. Exhale, come back to the top of the mat. We're going to finish with the side bends. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, left arm to your side. Reach to the left. Inhale, come over the top. Glue your right arm to your side. And exhale, come over the top. All right. And then come back to center. Nice. That is a moon salutation. So took a lot longer than a sun sal as well. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and come on down to the floor. Maybe just smoothing down your legs, bend your knees, come on down. And we're gonna come onto our front. Come onto your front all the way down. Where I wanna do a variation of a bow pose today. Bow, not boat. Hands are under your shoulders. Now take your right arm and bring it in front of you as a nice prop. We'll do the gentle version. Well, I'll show you them all. And then let that pick your chest up. Nice prop. Now bring your left foot up. And the basic version of this, slide your left hand back by your left rib cage. And you're not pressing with your heel. You're not pressing with your toe. Think about pressing with your ball of your foot straight up. So I remain straight on here, but maybe I lift on up then with that left. This is a one-sided bow. If you feel like it's okay, open that left shoulder and find it right here. So that enables you to find the support to lift up. So I keep saying this, but it bears repeating too in these classes. Follow my voice as much as you can. If you know a pose, try to follow the voice, because if we look and look and look to the side to our screen, can develop a neck condition. Let's let that go. Whew. Maybe take a moment, put your forehead on your hands, let your feet relax before we do the other side. We already did a good number of the things we wanted to do here. And then, yeah, we'll leave enough time for those twists. All right, your left arm comes in front of you. And then let's go ahead and send our right ball of our foot up. Press into the elbow, bring your right hand and slide it back to your ribs. Now that's kind of a nice stabilizer, right and left. And then you're always trying to, maybe you're bringing your knee off the floor. This is just a great supported version. So we're supporting the upper back and we're using strength to activate the low back. And of course, if we want to reach back, we can. If, I should have said on the other side too, if this feels up too high, you could also just kind of reach out and not have the upper back so much. All right, don't have to hold the foot. Just activation. Okay, let's put that down. Hands under shoulders, and we're gonna come back up and flip around so that we are on our backs. So find your loop. Grab your strap before you come down and keep your props handy. let's roll back. So I want you to put this over your right foot. Around your right foot, and around your heel is best. Now I'm gonna hit the wall, I just know it. So I want you to grip with your right hand. The left arm comes open to the side like a T. And then, so your grip is gonna do some work so that your leg doesn't have to. Let your leg just be long. It could be out here, that might be you. And then, sometimes I even will give it a little wrap so that it stays put a little bit better. And then go out to the side. So, if you're at home, maybe you're finding furniture and whatnot in your way. I know my home practice space, I can't do these because I run out of room. And what I'd said in the beginning, remember that if you want this wide leg to rest on something, normally in the normal version of this pose, it floats in the air. But if you want to leave it wide and lower it to the floor, that's fine. You're still getting the openness, okay? Otherwise, it can float in the air, or it can rest on a block or something else. Good. Let's guide that up to the center, and then you're going to change hands. Change hands with it. Scoot your hips a tad to the right. Bring your right arm out to the side, and then guide this if you want to let your left knee fall to the other side. So why strap? The strap is to make it so that the leg can be long, so that you get the benefit of the leg stretch too. You can look the opposite way. If I didn't have the strap, I might be struggling to hold the leg. So here, I'm not struggling to keep the leg straight, but I am having to use some strength in my hand on the strap. So there's a little trade-off, okay? And then just loosen up on that, bend your knee, and come back to the center, and we're gonna change sides on that. So, and these are great, I would say TV watching poses, I always think of them as. The loop is around the left now, and little loop. Right arm opens to the side. Keep that leg bent, if you want, open to that right side. So here, I'm not sure how much you can see, but this is my better side as well. So I can float this one in the air. I would say normally too on this, if your foot can set down, what that means is you are more flexible. It means you can pick it up and bring it closer to your head and keep it floating. But if you don't want it to feel like that, if you want gentler, let it rest. If you want it gentler, put it on a block, something. So it pays to have these things handy sometimes. And let's go ahead, if you need to, bend your knee and bring it back into the center, but then re-extend, pass it off to the right hand. Left hand comes wide, and then let everything fall on over to fall with control over to the other side. Maybe even scoot your hips a little bit to the left. And you can always look the opposite way if it feels okay. And being mindful of your low back here, if you have disc issues or SI joint issues, this can be triggering, so only go as far into this as feels good for you. That's where you can even have blankets or pillows that the knees rest on so you don't twist as far, okay? A restorative, slightly more yin version. All right, and let's go ahead, come back to center. And let that come off and reorient everything back to center for a moment. And let's just have a couple flows here. I want to make sure that we even things out after a twist like that. So just inhale, hands and feet float up and overhead, and exhale, give a hug. And we'll do this a few times. Inhale, hands and feet. Half hour, good, exhale. And all of this can be done. A lot of these poses can be held in a half hour. I guess we hold them for a fair amount of time. You can hold poses for minutes at a time too. That's more like a yin or a restorative class. This one is kind of on the way to yin and restorative, we would say. All right, and let's go ahead and rest, maybe with feet wide, and tip your knees in together, and then find the magic spot where things are just in equilibrium and can rest. And then nestle your shoulder blades in and lay with your palms up. Close your eyes and let your practice integrate all of your physical work, all of your breath, all of your mental centering. We want to keep that continuity for a moment. The whole point of this is peace of mind. So we actually want to experience the peace of mind at the end of the class, right? Taking some moments in a Shavasana. And just watching your breath. We don't control it anymore. Just smooth, just letting go. And also, taking a moment to continue to be a student of yourself, noticing where your energetic state lies. Do you feel nice and centered? Enlivened in the right way? If you had energy to burn or any kind of mental anguish to burn off, did you do a little bit of that? Or if you came in feeling nice and centered, did you stay that way? But better. And speaking of holding and remaining, Shavasana is something that you can stay mindfully relaxed in. Remember, it's not a nap. It's conscious rest. You can stay there for any number of minutes. When you're ready, begin by deepening your breath, moving your hands and feet. Maybe then letting your knees fall to the right, rolling onto the right side. Maybe your arm is up overhead there. Using the arm like a pillow. Taking a couple of breaths on your side. And then coming up to find a seat. Once you are in a comfortable seat, sealing in your practice, right? Sitting nice and effortlessly up, bowing the chin. The light in me honors the light in all of you. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Again, any comments, leave them down in the feedback form below the button. Newsflash, starting next week, there will be another class after this one. I'll be doing, again, another half hour, and it's called Mindfulness, Movement, and Meditation. So it's a little bit more time going inward, and it's the perfect kind of thing that you can do if you have time after your asana practice, like the class that we just finished. That, again, is preparation for the more stillness of mind and the meditation. So hope to see you there. Have a great week.